project. But, you know, I suppose my concern, but at the same time it's only halfway through, is to make sure people get what you're researching, which is the Filipino diaspora. At the moment, I can't see that very well.
I definitely can. But that constant repeating, missing the Philippines. I think that was very good. That underlying repetition of that, I like that. To me, that came across as very clear what it was about.
I think visually it was quite uncomfortable to watch. I mean, I felt that, you know, it was very, you know, flashy all about the place, and lots of images were coming up again and again, being stretched and stuff. And I don't know, I'd almost like to see more development visually than just that, because there seemed to be a lot of black on the screen and then a little image there, and then you didn't really have time to focus. And I don't know, I think I think that's probably quite undeveloped. And you know, you've kind of got this very large project, and you seem quite clear about where you kind of want to take it. But visually, I think you have to be probably a bit more, you know, aware about what you're really trying to show.
Yeah, I think I'm agree a bit with this, because you have like a very complex work which is really attached and has sense, but I feel something is missing on the visual. Like it's more like publicity, really fast and very much. Like, and things that maybe I don't really understand because I'm not in that culture, which also reminds me that the thing of the heart is like you're inviting the people to go into this work, but maybe people who probably is not into this community. So I don't know exactly if you're counting of this like new dimension of the work. But I think it's really interesting, this thing of the heartbeat, like something which activates these memories or this image we build.
I think there's the point of whether you're trying to be specific to the Philippine community or just in general as to displacement, because there might be more of a general feel to it. I mean, it may come across as being strictly a Filipino thing, or it may be with a bit more of a variety as to maybe you should show other cultures just to make the analogies. I mean, you've got the parakeet. But to make analogies of displacement, unless it really is just about the Philippine community, and then you may want to show specific Philippine things from the Philippines.
I find that what you're saying with the work, I mean, I know what your work looks like normally, and of course this is just a fast novel, and I'm pretty sure it will kind of grow it and become more visually pleasing, I guess, without being, you know, like that. Because, I mean, you said that it's just, you know, a quick mock-up, but I think there's a point that, because for most of us, we don't know, you know, we would specifically think of the Philippines, but looking at a lot of these images, we need to be more kind of, I don't know, almost stereotypical things, maybe. I don't know if you have this, because I don't really know the Philippine like stereotype at all either.
That's why the point of integration you wanted to make a little bit too much of integration in there. There was definitely the displacement and in some way the transition, but the integration I think is not.
I would like to see the sound part of this one. The sound part. The sound. Yeah, I imagine it. I like the visual part. Although it's not, I think it's not the final, but it will be close. I'm thinking of the sound part that it's important too, because the heart beat. I would like to hear it in low frequencies. As you said in a darker, low frequencies and with a bit of echo and reverb, because it's like I imagine it as I enter inside your mind. I'm not such a Filipino, but inside you feel like you are a Filipino. And you feel like a Filipino, you have to maybe understand that you feel them closely.
I think the heart beating is kind of too fast. I think if you can make it slower and we can feel it, because the fast heart beating makes me look like watching an action film or kind of. Yeah, maybe a little peaceful.
But the idea is that it relates to the person who's touching the heartbeat, so it would be different depending on how excited or relaxed whoever is watching it will be. But I think somehow making it calmer, even though it would be the same speed, there's just something about that sound at the moment. But
I like the low frequency idea. I think that's that way it can be underlying. I mean, you can put any sound you like on top. It may be nice to have other sound as well, but that underlying, almost a frequency thing. I agree. I think that'd be very good.
I think if you successfully present the story about the Philippines that we're talking about, then it doesn't really matter the fact that people watching it are not from the Philippines, because when we go into a museum and we see something well presented, we're interested. You know, it might be from Japan or, you know, so I don't think that has to be a problem. But it's just how you bring it over.
Well, for me, I think that the best way to explain what you want, it will be in like a short documentary or something like that. Not very related with a lot of images and because it's more experimental film or something like that. I think that to explain what you want about migration will be work very good, like a documentary with interviews of people or something like that. I think that this, for me, is a little, there is a distance between the experimental film that you show to us and the goal that we want to achieve, explaining the migration. I think that that's all. Documentary could be work very good.
Okay. Just one quick technical thing. We had a student a couple of years ago in Germany who did the heartbeat with the virtual reality.
Oh, yeah.
It was a virtual reality vehicle that travelled through space, and you put your hand on the thing and it picked up your heartbeat and that controlled the speed of the vehicle. Remarkably similar heart rates from everybody who used it. The general audience, the difference between a heart rate is actually very, very small. It's sort of the normal condition. You know, if you ask someone to run on a treadmill for 10 minutes before doing it, then it'd be very different. But most people are not in that situation. They come into the guy and put their hand up, and you're talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 beats different per minute, you know, in variation. So you might want to think through that, how sensitive you want to set things. And that's just from experience from me. Yeah. No.
I mean, what I would say is that you need to think that I like the idea of the heartbeat as being a trigger. For me, it doesn't matter whether it's faster or slower or whatever. I think it is a trigger which pulls people in, and it sets up that metaphor of turning the heartbeat and all of that. I think, again, audio needs looking at. I mean, I'll kind of give you, obviously we'll do some feedback on this, but I think the way you kind of manipulate, I realise obviously it's very fun very quickly, but the way you manipulate imagery, I would take note of comments about the kinds of imagery and how you actually indicate the quality or presence. You know, this idea about being in London but also being in the Philippines, you know, this sort of how you set that relationship up. So that might be just a rather vast number of how you interpret imagery, how you understand imagery. And I think maybe what we'll need to think about, again, because it's probably going to be a recurrent theme, is this sense of narrative. Maybe it's not this collection of images that go together that set up a quality or as opposed to relying on just bouncing one image off another. It might be that it's about 3 or 4 images bouncing, collectively bouncing off another 3 or 4 images.